Shall we begin?
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the More Than Just Keto podcast. This is episode number 24, and I am one of your hosts, Ashley.
And I'm your other host, Molly. This episode we have titled, I Am Keto. And we've titled this, I Am Keto, because Ashley and I got in a big discussion about identity. And we noticed and we have seen that it is quite easy to see yourself as keto, like it's your identity or something. Our identity is not keto. Keto is short for ketosis. It is the metabolic state we get in when we eat a certain way with a certain macro budget. We get into ketosis. So we do say, oh, I'm keto. And I get that. Like you get that. We get that.
Yeah.
But we don't want our identity to be keto, because what happens if we decide to not be keto anymore? Like, what happens?
Yeah, I think, there's a fine line between loving something so much and having success and identifying like within the community and really embracing the culture and becoming a person that does keto, that has success, that is in a metabolic state of ketosis. And slowly but surely what you'll find is that it does start to sort of take over and you become this sort of keto identifying person. And part of this is because people put us in these boxes as well.
Yeah,
People start calling, oh, well, she's keto, she does keto, blah, blah. And so there's a lot of outside influence that starts to tell you what you are, labels. And so it's very easy to get sucked into, oh, well, I'm a person that does keto. And there's a few things here. What happens when you go off of keto, like permanently or even just for a second? Then all of a sudden you're not keto. Like that can cause some negative thoughts like, oh, I ate this, so I wasn't keto today.
Yeah.
There's several problems with identifying who you are with the way that you eat.
Right.
I never thought this was really a problem, but I see it in our community.
Right.
And I can see for myself that identifying solely as one way and one person, when you change things or things change, how that can make you feel like you have failed. You can't identify with the persona that you've created of, for example, I'll use myself for an example as Ashley, Holy Mother of Keto. That's who I am now.
Right.
That's not who I am. That is a part of me.
Right.
Right. So it's a part of my lifestyle, but it's not who I am. Ashley has a lot of, things that make her her. The food part of it is just one aspect of what makes up our lifestyle. We get so fixated on trying to create the lifestyle that sometimes we don't realize that the lifestyle is creating us. It's creating a new version of ourselves. And there's so many like periods of growth and so many exciting things that come out of changing your lifestyle and your behaviors. And there's so many things, like even personally, that I have grown to learn about myself, that I have contributed back to my community. It's very easy for me to be like, oh, I'm this keto person.
Right.
And I've taken on this other persona. But what I've realized is that keto has helped me become a better person in all of these other areas. It's not just from keto.
Right. And because keto has helped you, you are grateful that you found that way of eating. You are grateful that you created a lifestyle that incorporated the keto way of eating, because before you were trying to create lifestyles with other types of diets. And we've talked about already, that both of us started keto as a diet and then it became our lifestyle. Yeah. And we both said that we don't know for certain we'll be eating this keto way for the rest of our lives. We can't say one way or the other. All we know is we love the way it makes us feel. We enjoy the process. It is our lifestyle because we enjoy it. And so it doesn't feel like a diet to us. And later we talked about incorporating more carbs and things like that, right? So when that happens, oh my gosh, I'm no longer keto. Like what you were saying a minute ago, it can do something to your brain.
Yeah,
right.
That's like saying that you have failed or you have stopped something. And with,
right.
with that comes negative self-talk, or can just negatively influence you, that you don't know who you are now. That moment of like, then who am I?
Right. And you know what?
If I'm not keto.
Right. Then where do I fit in here? Where am I
And I don't
like
fit
let's say you're
in.
okay,
Yeah.
so here's a big one. Like I started keto and then I went to low carb. And then I just felt like, oh, am I really part of the keto community? Because now I'm low carb, I'm not keto. Again, I was labeling myself and I was causing myself to feel more like an outcast as opposed to part of a community.
Yeah.
Our community is made up of people that are trying to create a better life for themselves. They're trying to get healthier.
Yeah.
They're having a wellness journey. And some people choose to eat the keto way. Some people choose to eat other ways. And that's fine, right? It's
Yeah,
fine.
that is totally fine.
Totally
And I think
fine.
that's always been our narrative is like keto works for us. And if you ask us, of course we're gonna say, well, have you tried it? I mean,
Right.
because
Because it's
we've had so
changed
much
lives.
success
Right.
and it's
Right.
changed our lives and we see how
The
many lives it's
benefits. Mm-hmm.
changed in our community. And so, yes, if you ask me, I'm gonna be like, well, have you tried this? Or have you just tried low carb? Because I feel like that's the introduction to keto
Right.
is the low
Mm-hmm.
carb. And is it my default mode to say, well, have you tried this? Because yeah, because it is so successful for a lot of us, especially the ones that have tried everything. If
Right.
you have tried everything, when I say everything, because you have already
Everything. Yeah.
everything. You know what I'm talking about because none of it's worked. And here you are
Right.
still trying to figure it out. And that's when it's like, well, have you tried keto? Like here we are,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, and then
Mm-hmm.
and some people see that as like a dirty word because they've associated this with like these people, they're keto. It's like, no, they're
Like
in
unga bunga,
ketosis.
we're the keto tribe. It's like
Right, right.
we're not
And
a tribe.
there's a
We're
lot of a lot of people give it a bad name and they think we just like eat sticks of butter and drink bacon grease and like
I know. It's
maybe we
so
eat
it
the lettuce.
honestly, it's
Right,
getting
which is so
old.
ridiculous. It
Okay.
is,
I'm
but
I'm truly sick and tired of seeing these folks making these videos and having these songs and having us. It's like they put this type here, they put this type here. Like they are labeling. They are putting
right.
boxes around these different people in their way of eating and they always show a stick of butter going in coffee. Like think of something else. Be more original.
Yeah,
Like
like I mean, you
it's
could put olive oil in there. Geez,
I mean, come on.
that would be so gross. I'm gonna have to
Ugh.
say, but you see what I'm saying, right?
Right,
Like
right.
there's a lot of labeling and connotation about it, and blah 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 blah. And so I think that's why this conversation is important, right? Because it's really not who you are. It's just part of your
Right. It's just
lifestyle,
part of it.
and you kind of have to disassociate that. And I think that's maybe why we are so open to
Mm-hmm.
people doing whatever works for them because
Mm-hmm.
we don't take it as personal when they come after just keto people because we're like, come on.
Right.
That's one part of who I am. It is not who I am.
Right.
That you can't attack somebody unless you're directing all that hate at that person.
Mm-hmm.
So being a keto person, I'm just like, well, that's not me. I don't eat that way. I just don't identify. Whoever you're picking on doesn't. I
That's
don't
not
fall into that.
right.
But like
Right.
I know that you think that, and I know you think our community's like that, but good for you because it's
Right.
not. But good for you.
Well,
Good
we
for
learned
you
that
for like, yeah,
on TikTok. Remember,
yeah.
we had a video that went semi-viral. I mean, I don't know. It went pretty big, and it was a
It did well.
salad. It
Yeah.
was a salad. It was a salad I made. Like I make the salad every week. I was like, I'll just take a little video and stick it on
So
the
funny.
TikTok. And yeah, it blew up. Now, we did have this great audio where the guy's being sarcastic and he's saying,
Like
keto
keto's
is so
dumb.
dumb because that's what someone told him. Well, what was interesting is we had a ton of comments, and there were
Yes.
people in there that said, well, I think keto is dumb. I don't, all these different things. And I responded to some. I was like, okay, I get it because I used to think the same thing. But then you try it and you learn. So, yeah, I mean, I had opinions about keto before. And why did I have the opinion? Because of what everybody was saying. So,
Right.
until you try something for yourself, whatever it is, and like it's the same with relationships and people. You can't listen to what somebody says about somebody else. Get to know yourself. And it's the same way with keto. So, like, we're not trying to
Yeah.
get you to do keto.
So I think when we're looking for our identity, when we start off, we don't really realize maybe exactly where we are. Like we know we want to lose weight, but there's a lot of things that we haven't worked out, obviously, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
we could have some trauma, we could have some emotional stuff, we might have some stress, we might have some anxiety, whatever's going on that has us looking to find a way to lose weight and become this person that we want to be. I think we find keto and it works, and it's just naturally starts to be like, well, this is who I am.
Hmm.
And and this is another reason why we do these episodes, right? Where we talk about this mindset, because this is really important.
Yeah.
The food is part of the way to get what you want.
Right.
Okay. It's not who you are.
No.
You're not ketosis because that's untrue.
Right.
You're in ketosis.
Right.
Okay. So there's that, right? By being in ketosis and losing weight and having success, it drives you to find that success in other parts of your life.
Right.
And if you're paying attention to that, and we've talked about this tons of times, you pay attention to how that works, right? You start doing well over here, you want to spread that. You see that that is working really well. And a lot of people that that have had success that we have talked to in our community, or that talk on their stories and share their journeys, they're like, man, I didn't do this before keto, but now I'm doing this and I'm trying this. And
Yeah.
so something starts happening. It's almost like you start to blossom as a person a little bit.
Hmm.
That is where your identity is.
Right. The person
In
you're
there. The
becoming.
person that
Yes.
you're becoming, all the little things around the food that don't have anything to do with food,
Right.
that's who you are becoming.
Hmm.
That's creating your identity, not
The
the
food.
food.
Right.
And so this is why we say it is so important to do all those things. It's so important to share and be excited about those victories. It's so important to really appreciate and be prideful on the things that you accomplish, because you are giving all of that feedback to yourself,
Yeah.
and you're creating who you want to be, and you're working on areas of who you need to be and who you want to be in the future. That doesn't have anything to do with your lunch. It doesn't.
You're right.
It
I
doesn't
love it
have
when you do
anything
that.
to do with
Yeah.
your dinner.
Nothing to do with that. That.
All right? That's
Yeah.
that's called success. You have success, and you start applying those methods of success to other areas of your life.
That's absolutely right.
Keto is just one giant lesson on success and hardship and overcoming things, because it's not easy in the beginning. Not everybody just falls into this. There is a learning curve. It takes a lot of dedication and education in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so once you realize that putting all that work in leads you to success, guess what happens? You want to apply that method of, well, let me do the
Yeah.
research. Let me figure out what I need. You start, and you don't even realize this. You start to take the things that you've learned and you start to actually apply it, because you realize that that method can be used for almost everything, and
Right.
including creating who you want to be, who you are, and who you're meant to be.
Yeah.
Your identity
That's
is,
your identity.
that's your identity.
That's you
You're
creating your
creating that.
identity. Right. Right. And it'll never be found in your lunch. Never.
It'll never be found in your
It'll
lunch.
never. So when you do all that, when you start keto, so we talk again about keto because that's what we do. But really, with any way of eating that you choose that's healthy, that is causing you to get what it is that you're looking to get. For us, keto, because of ketosis, you have that energy and you have that focus. So that's like a benefit with keto that you don't get with others. And I know that because I've done the others. I've done the whole like high protein, low fat, just your fruits and veggies and your protein with barely any fat. Like I've done that, and I never felt like I do with keto. And I wonder sometimes when and if I transition to more of a low carb, that's the only thing that makes me not want to stop this. Like that's it. Like I love the food, obviously, but if you're low carb, you're still eating this food because it's all the foods. I'm not going to go back to sugar. I'm not going to go back to
there are
high processed flours and sugar. Like I'm not going back to that. But I did that before keto where I didn't have that stuff, but I didn't feel like this. So that for me is the only reason I'm not certain that I would leave keto, but that was not even my point. My point was I got off. My point was, what was my point? I was saying with keto, we get that focus and that energy, right?
Yeah.
which you don't get with every way of eating. So no matter what it is that you're doing to create a better life, a healthier body,
Yeah,
in
success
your
and
wellness
whatever
journey,
that means for you,
whatever that,
right?
right,
Whatever that
exactly.
means, if that's
But
health, wellness, if that's physically,
whatever it
whatever
is,
that is.
but what you're doing, those small things that you're doing consistently and on a daily basis, those decisions you're making, you're showing yourself, oh my gosh, I can do that. I
You're
can do that. I
proving
can
it.
do that. And
You're
like Ashley
proving it
said,
to
you're proving
yourself.
it to yourself. And then like Ashley said, then you're applying it to this, and you are becoming, like our big word, becoming. Like think about it, becoming an identity. They go hand in hand
Yeah.
because you a lot of this is something I've come across recently and before. A lot of women, I'm going to speak about women because I don't really talk to men about this, but identity. Now, my husband does actually, but I don't. But identity, when they feel they've lost themselves, when they feel they've let themselves go, when they feel um, like they have no purpose,
Just lost.
just
Yeah.
lost in general.
Yeah.
When you decide to apply some sort of wellness journey, some sort of wellness,
And that can be mental, physical. I mean, literally, we're talking about this
all
when
of
we're
it.
talking about
Yeah.
a wellness journey. We're not talking about just a size or a weight,
Oh, we're never talking about a weight or size.
So
We're talking
that's
about
what's so important there.
what encompasses wellness. It's your mind, your body, your spirit. Like it's all
Yeah. It's
whole. It's
all
all
the things.
together.
Yeah.
So
So
they all
important.
go together. I wish a
Yeah.
lot of people realize that. Like that's one thing. If I could give one huge bit of advice that I wish I knew before, you don't want it, and you do what you want, okay? But this is my opinion and my experience. And I bet you Ashley will agree with me, but if she doesn't, she'll
I'm
say
sure. I
it
always do.
because Ashley, she's bold. So, and I like it when she disagrees and says what it's all good. It's good. That's the relationship we have. But this is what I was going to say. You really, really are not doing yourself a good service if you put your physical health to the side and focus on your mental health. You're not. I promise you're not, because they go together. So if you are
Yeah.
like, I need to focus on my mental health, so I'm not going to worry about what I'm eating. I'm not going to, and I've seen people do this.
Yeah, we sometimes
It's not
forget the power of food as well, and that the mental stuff is actually a lot to
so
do with the things that are
connected.
in our food. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything. I'm just saying that we know, proven that the wherever the American diet is in the US, there's a lot of problems with health.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a conspiracy to say that the chemicals that we put in a lot of our foods are not
Oh,
great for
come
us. We
on.
know
There's
that, right?
proof, scientific proof
So,
and statistics to back
right.
up what you're saying. So,
So
yeah.
so to your point, if you're not worried about what you're eating, but you're trying to work on mental health, I have read so many studies that they've said that people have gone to psychologists, and the psychologists, the ones that know or have a feeling that food is causing some problems, say, what are you eating? What does a
Yeah.
normal diet look like? And I have seen that people have, with the help of also therapy and food that works for them, this is a key. I'm not saying they all said keto. Some of them did. Some of them said other things. But just by changing the foods they were consuming,
Yeah.
it had a drastic effect on their moods, their mental health.
Absolutely.
So, to your point, when we're looking at health, we really do have to consider all points of it.
Right.
And the eating and the mental and the physical, they all are one ecosystem. You
Mm-hmm.
can't really fully take care of one without considering the
Absolutely.
others.
Yeah. It's the trinity of our body. Like they have the trinity, like the
Absolutely.
three,
The Holy
mind,
Trinity,
body,
right?
spirit. Like it all makes one. You hear people say healthy and whole. Well, I always thought whole, mind, body, spirit, whole. When all
Yeah.
of that is healthy, you feel whole. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if one of them is healthy and one is not, you feel like something's missing, something's off, you're
Yeah.
not balanced. It just creates that balance. And yeah, we make it sound so pretty and so easy. It's
And
not
easy,
easy.
and it's
It's
not.
not easy.
It's not.
But you
It's a
know what?
constant war,
It's a constant, consistent,
battle to fight
purposeful
for.
journey, and you're worth it. And your life is worth it, and your family is worth it. And that's
You
why,
deserve it, though.
absolutely.
Like, you deserve it more than anything in the world. You
Right.
deserve to have all of that be whatever you want it to be. You deserve it. You absolutely are worth every effort towards your health, wellness, mental health, physical health. like, yeah, that is
I think that's
so
a big, it
important.
is so important. I don't think it's talked about enough. I think
I
we
don't.
excuse very easily,
We
very
make a
often.
lot of
Well,
excuses for a lot of our
it's
behaviors
too,
too.
that's a little tough. I don't know. So
Grace, grace,
no,
grace.
stop. Just stop. Have mercy, have grace,
Yeah.
have understanding, have acceptance, have
But have
all of
grit,
that.
have honest conversations, have that inner dialogue, diagnose it, listen to yourself, talk to yourself, like reflect on your behavior.
Right.
Why do you do the things you do? If you don't know, and we've talked about this before, if you don't know, go back. If you want to figure out where the problem started, you have to go backwards. You can't go
Yes.
forward in the future and think
And
you're going
look
to
for it.
solve a problem from
Right.
behind,
Not gonna
right?
happen.
And we don't want to live in the past, but sometimes we have to dip
You have to
back there
face it. You have to
to
face the
bring
past
it
to
to
move
the
forward.
forward, to bring it to the current so that you can sort it out. Because if you don't sort it out, it will continue to come back. And
Right.
that's an anecdote for life. That doesn't have,
That's life.
only to
Yeah.
do with the weight or mental health or anything. That's just life in general. Problems that you have that keep coming forward. Usually, if it's a reoccurring issue, it's a problem that hasn't been dealt with.
Yeah. As you're saying that, what I imagine in my head is a rug, and things keep getting swept under that rug, and that rug just gets bigger
It
and
catches
bigger.
up. It's going to catch you. You're going to trip over it at some point. You sweep enough under there and you won't be able to walk over.
Don't you wish that you could just like jump through a screen somewhere to somebody else that you watch or that you care about on social media, for example, and you wish you could just help them have that grit? Like, just say,
Yeah.
oh, you can do this. Like, I think about it all the time, but nobody can do it for you.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it for you. Period. Period. You cannot
No.
pay someone to do it for you. You cannot
People
wish
ask for
someone to do it for
plans.
you.
A lot of people, like, they look for plans. They look for the answers. Like you said, they look for someone to give it to them.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you didn't create it, you can't keep it.
Right. Right.
You
You've had
can't
that
have
with
it. It's,
people. You've had that with people that say, I want what you have. What did you do? And then
yeah.
they think that you just did this thing and it's done. Like,
Yeah. It's just,
no,
oh, I just
honey,
followed this one. I
it
just eat the
took,
same things for literally
right.
2 years now. Yeah,
It
that's
took
it.
a
It's
lot of
just,
work, consistency, commitment, and
it
patience,
took a lot of failure.
and a lot of failure. That's how
It
you
took a
learn and grow.
lot of failure. It
Mm-hmm.
took a lot of failure prior. It took failing in between, before, after, in the middle. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. You're not
Right.
moving. You're not
Right.
growing. You are stagnant. You are not going to get to the place you want to be. We only learn when we're challenged. And that moment right before you want to give up and you don't give up, that's where you grow.
Absolutely. And you cannot go
So
around the
the
challenge. You
problem,
have to go through it.
everything has its season, everything
Mm-hmm.
has its time. We enter things when we're supposed to, and we exit and we grow. And if we don't take the time to appreciate all those parts, we will never be the person that we really want to be.
Right. Well, you say we grow, not everybody does. And that's a very sad place to be, because if you're not growing, you are just you're just still, you're stuck. You're not growing. And I've
Yeah.
shared this before, that I know people like that, and they're very sad, unhappy people. And it's not where I want to be. It's just not where I want to be. But not everybody has that drive, and you just wish that you could give that. I just wish I could wrap it up and say, here's the drive. There you go. Now go.
I think
I just wish.
I think everybody can have it. I think you just have to want it that bad. And sometimes not everybody wants it that bad.
I believe that people don't believe in themselves. I
I
believe
agree with
people
that.
are definitely influenced by those that have influenced their lives. And some people have a harder time finding even a tiny little bit of belief in themselves, because they've been told so long what their identity is. They have taken on an identity that someone else has given them. And so, what we're talking about today is identity. And obviously, we were starting it out with, keto not being your identity. Like, your identity is beyond what you're eating. So, what we want to see and what we hope to encourage other people to do is, if you are that person that's been given an identity by other people, you've allowed other people's opinion and labels and all the different things to allow you to become who they've identified you as, You can change that. You can flip that script and you can become who you're supposed to be, who you are meant to be. So this episode is all about identity. I think even if you're already in your keto journey, you can hear this episode and realize, hey, that might be me. I might be identifying myself as keto. It's my identity. It's who I am. And you can recognize that. And maybe if you don't want to be, if you don't want your identity to be keto, you can figure out a way to be more than keto, like more than just keto, right?
Like more than just
right, more than
keto.
Just keto, right?
I think that's really important to like not
so
get too caught up in being a metabolic state.
Right.
Not really just that, right? No, you're more than your food.
You're
so much more than that. You're more than your lunch. That's a saying. You're more than your lunch. We just made that.
I love that. That's going to be on another shirt.
It's so important to make sure that you're checking in on your wellness journey and that, you know, if you want this to be long lasting and not just a way of eating that you're involved in, but that, you know, it is a journey for you once again, that you are doing all the things that make you proud and make you want to be who you want to be. When you get to a place where you feel like you've met the ultimate success that you were looking for, you won't feel like you've lost something when it's over, or that you need to find something else because you found yourself along the way. That's really, really important.
You're creating your identity.
You're creating who you want to be, the ultimate version of yourself, the best version of yourself, whatever that looks like, whatever that means to you. And making sure that we don't get too caught up and just like, I'm keto, it's keto. That's not keto. I can't be that. Like, to take all that narrative out and just say, like, this is something that I do that I enjoy and it provides a great weight loss or it provides great energy for me. But who I am is all of these things. I'm into art. I'm into, you know, my family. I'm into making myself better. I've started a fitness journey or whatever it is, whatever that is. That's so important to work on those parts too, and not just get too caught up and be in the keto Instagram or Facebook or TikToker who's like all about keto and that's it. It's so important to make sure, you know, you have success in all of those parts of your life because you're worth that.
Yeah.
You deserve that.
You're more than, definitely.
You're more than just keto, you're more than just food or diet.
Yeah.
You know, you deserve to have a full lifestyle that makes you really happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what do we always talk about? We are becoming something. So what are you becoming? You're becoming.
Ask yourself that question. Yeah.
Yeah, you're becoming who do you want to be? You create that. You got this. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to this episode, and we are going to see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us today. You can find and connect with us over on Instagram at More Than Just Keto. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss out on the fun. We'll see you next time.